We are joined today by John Fox, CIO and CEO at Fenimore Asset Management. You've been a part of the Fenimore team for a long time, since 1996. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your role at Fenimore?
Sure. My background is I've been in finance my entire career, starting as a financial analyst in the 1980s, and I've been with Fenimore for 25 years. I started at Fenimore as an analyst covering financial stocks. In May of 2000, I was named co-manager of the BAM Value Fund, and several years ago I was named Chief Investment Officer of the company following our founder, Tom Putnam. And about 18 months ago, I followed Tom as CEO of Fenimore Asset Management.
What is the biggest misconception about investing held by investors?
I think the biggest misunderstanding is that you can get in and out of the market at the right time. And I think people want to avoid the downturns in the market, and then they want to get in after the downturn is complete and things are heading up. And it's really impossible to do. And I think last year is really a great example of that. If you look at 2020, we have the terrible pandemic and health issues around the world. We have the biggest economic decline in this country since the Great Depression. And stocks performed very, very well. And in fact, the riskiest stocks did the best. So the biggest misconception is that you can get in and out at the right time.
What is the hardest lesson you've ever learned about investing?
The hardest lesson I've ever learned is how difficult it is to sell. Oftentimes you sell a stock and you think for good reasons, and it continues to go up for many years. And the most difficult lesson is don't sell anything in a bear market.
If you didn't work in financial services, what would you be doing?
Well, I'm very fortunate to be in the job that I really always wanted. Sometimes people can't say that, but I've always been interested in numbers. I've been invested in the markets for a few decades. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. I think a different job, anything where I could be curious, maybe investigative reporter, or today maybe data scientist, but anything where I could be curious and learn a lot of new things.
What's the best advice you've ever received about investing?
Well, the best advice I've ever received is from our founder, Tom Putnam, and that is, you never know how far a great company can go in terms of an investment. And we have a number of stocks that we own today that we bought 20 years ago or 25 years ago or more. And our total return is 40 to 50 times what we paid for the stocks at the original cost. We certainly never expected we would make 50 times our money in any of our investments, but they're great companies and they can go a lot farther than you think.
What is your favorite activity outside of investing?
Well, definitely music. Before the pandemic, I made sure I went out to see live music at least once a month, and I've done that for years. And I also play the guitar and the bass. So that's my passion outside of investing.
My favorite thing about working at Fenimore are the people that I get to see and work with every day. Right now I know it's virtually, but I still get to stay connected, which I love. What is your favorite part about working at Fenimore?
I love the markets, and it's really a challenge to have a great investment return over time. It's always changing. The challenge is always changing, and it's really a chance to learn every day and to use curiosity.
What advice would you give to people just starting out in their career?
Think about really what you want to do and focus on that. I think people tend to say, well, I'm looking for a job, I'll take anything. And I think the funny thing in life is the more specific you are, the easier it is to find that job because you know what you're looking for.
And what keeps you motivated, particularly in this last year?
I think I love to learn, and I have a lot of curiosity. And so I'm just always trying to learn and get better. And when you're investing, that's a marathon that probably never ends. You can always get better. So that's what keeps me motivated.
Series is brought to you by Fenimore Asset Management. To learn more about Fenimore Asset Management and to view important disclosures, please visit us online at www.fenimoreasset.com.